in a quiet forest nestled between rolling hills and a glistening river. There lived a clever fox named Willow. Her fur was a vibrant shade of auburn, and her eyes sparkled like amber under the moonlight. Willow was known throughout the forest as the swiftest and most resourceful creature. She had a knack for solving problems, and all the animals admired her courage and wit. But Willow wasn't always brave. There was a time when she doubted herself, a time when fear held her back. This is the story of how Willow found her courage and became the hero of the forest. It all began one crisp autumn morning. The air was cool, and the forest floor was blanketed with golden leaves. Willow was trotting along the riverbank, her favorite spot, searching for berries. She loved the serenity of the river, the way it sang as it flowed over smooth stones, and the way the sunlight danced on its surface. But that morning, something felt different. The birds were unusually quiet, and the squirrels, who were usually busy gathering acorns, were nowhere to be seen. Willow's sharp ears twitched as she picked up a faint sound, whispers carried by the wind. She followed the sound, her paws silent against the soft earth, until she came to a clearing. In the middle of the clearing stood a group of animals. A nervous-looking deer, a family of rabbits, a badger, and even a few sparrows perched on low-hanging branches. They were all gathered around an old owl named Eldrick, who was known as the forest's wisest creature. "What's going on?" Willow asked, stepping into the clearing. Eldrick turned his solemn gaze toward her. "Willow, you've come at a troubling time. Something terrible has happened." The other animals murmured in agreement, their eyes wide with fear. "What is it?" Willow pressed. "The river," Eldrick began, his voice heavy with worry. "Something has blocked its flow upstream. If the river dries up, the forest will suffer. The plants won't grow, and we won't have water to drink. We must find out what's causing this and stop it." The animals looked at one another, their fear palpable. None of them dared to venture upstream. The unknown was too frightening, and the idea of leaving the safety of their familiar forest filled them with dread. Willow felt a pang of doubt. She wasn't sure if she was brave enough to face whatever was blocking the river. But as she looked around at the frightened faces of her friends, she knew she couldn't stand by and do nothing. "I'll go," she said, her voice steady despite the fluttering in her chest. The animals gasped. "Are you sure, Willow?" Eldrick asked. "It could be dangerous." Willow nodded. "Someone has to do it. I'll find out what's wrong and fix it." Willow set off immediately, following the river upstream. The journey was not easy. The further she went, the more rugged the terrain became. The trees grew denser, their branches intertwining to form a canopy that blocked out the sun. The air grew colder, and the sound of the river became fainter. As she climbed over rocks and pushed through thickets, Willow's mind raced with possibilities. What could be blocking the river? Was it a fallen tree? A pile of rocks? Or something more sinister? She shook her head, trying to push the thoughts away. Worrying wouldn't help her solve the problem. After hours of trekking, Willow finally reached the source of the blockage. Her heart sank at the sight before her. A massive dam made of logs, branches, and mud was wedged across the river. It was expertly constructed, and Willow immediately knew who was responsible. "Beavers," she muttered under her breath. Sure enough, a family of beavers was busy adding the finishing touches to the dam. They worked diligently, completely unaware of the trouble they had caused downstream. Willow approached cautiously. "Excuse me," she called out. The beavers froze, their eyes darting toward her. A large beaver, who appeared to be the leader, stepped forward. "Who are you, and what do you want?" he asked, his tone wary. "My name is Willow," she said. "I live downstream, and your dam has blocked the river. The animals in the forest are running out of water. You need to take it down." The beaver frowned. "This is our home. We need the dam to survive. Willow understood their predicament, but she couldn't let the forest suffer. I know you need a home, but there has to be another way. If the river stops flowing, the entire forest will be in danger. The beaver leader hesitated, glancing back at his family. We didn't mean to cause harm, he said, but we can't just abandon our dam. Willow thought for a moment. She needed to find a solution that worked for everyone. That's when an idea struck her. What if we work together to build a smaller dam further upstream? She suggested. It would still give you a place to live, but it wouldn't block the entire river. The beaver leader considered her proposal. It will be a lot of work, he said. I'll help you, Willow offered, and I'm sure the other animals in the forest will help too. We can work together to fix this. The beavers agreed, and Willow hurried back to the forest to gather help. At first, the animals were hesitant. They were still afraid of venturing upstream. But Willow's determination inspired them. Slowly but surely, they began to volunteer. Over the next few days, the forest buzzed with activity. The animals worked side by side with the beavers, dismantling the old dam and constructing a new one further upstream. The birds carried twigs, the rabbits dug trenches, and even the deer used their antlers to move heavy branches. Willow worked tirelessly, guiding the efforts and encouraging everyone to keep going. She discovered a strength within herself that she didn't know she had. She wasn't just clever, she was a leader. Finally, after days of hard work, the new dam was complete. The river flowed freely once more, its sparkling waters bringing life back to the forest. The plants thrived. The animals rejoiced, and the beavers had a new home. That night, the forest gathered to celebrate. A bonfire crackled in the clearing, and the animals shared stories and laughter. Eldrick raised his wings to quiet the crowd. Tonight, we honor Willow, he said. Her bravery and wisdom brought us together and saved our forest. She has shown us that even in the face of fear, we can achieve great things if we work together. The animals cheered, and Willow felt a warm glow of pride. She had faced her fears and discovered that courage wasn't the absence of fear, it was the willingness to act despite it. From that day on, Willow was known as the brave fox. And whenever the forest faced a challenge, the animals knew they could count on her to lead the way. And so, the forest thrived, its creatures united by the memory of how they had come together to save their home. And Willow, the clever and courageous fox, became a legend in the fox